It's the Mike Tech Show, show number 827. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the podcast. I'm your host, Mike Smith. Thank you very much for downloading and subscribing to the show. Please visit the main website at miketechshow.com. You can email me questions and suggestions for show topics at miketechshow@gmail.com. Visit my YouTube page to catch the video for all the shows. It's youtube.com/Michael Smith MTS for the Mike Tech Show, and click subscribe once you get there. I really appreciate it. This show is brought to you by Instant House Call. Remotely support your customers. If you're an IT pro or an MSP, you can provide unattended and on-demand remote access through firewalls. You don't have to worry about it. I had to connect to a client today that we were worried. They were like, boy, it's going to get blocked. They're not, nah. I said, talk them to download the client, click start session, called me right away, connected, and was able to help them. And I had never remoted in before. Love it. Use it all the time. You can try it free by clicking on the ad on the left-hand side of my website at miketechshow.com, and you'll be brought to Instant House Call. You can download that 15-day trial. Use the promo code MikeTechShow. The show is also brought to you by MagnusBox. This is your best online backup service. They only sell to partners, resellers. They preserve that channel. They don't sell to end users. This is your chance to white label and brand your backup for your clients. It's great. It's a service that you can easily provide. The dashboard is incredible for managing everything for a single pane. They're HIPAA compliant. You can try everything out free to kick the tires. Mention that you heard it on the Mike Tech Show right here. You'll receive free white labeling and 50% off the platform fee for your first 3 months. Go to magnusbox.com. All right. So for tonight's show, I have so much. One of the first links is going to be how to make your own Chromebook. Oh, I just love this. I found this link and learned about this. Anyway, something that you're going to love to do. A little project. PowerShell cheat sheet. I still have not made the time. I have books. I have to learn PowerShell. I really do. If you want to automate your life, you got to learn PowerShell. Have a couple websites and some interesting an app for your iPhone and Android that I'm going to talk about, and a stack of email recommending things based on questions from previous shows. And then we got some new questions, and we are going to talk about cyber insurance tonight a little bit from one of the questions. So let's begin with the first link, which is making use of an old computer. This is the first link, and it's a weekly, like a syndicated column by Bob and Joy Schwabach. Boy, I know that name from the past, and I just don't know where. I remember him, and I remember some of the articles. I don't know where he was published before, but if you have an old computer gathering dust in the closet, turn it into a Chromebook. He talks about a friend converted a 10-year-old Samsung laptop in about 45 minutes, and most of the changes took place automatically. The improvements are remarkable. The battery life went from about 2 hours to well over 3. Web browsing's faster, and it's basically downloading the Chrome OS. So there is a site that is linked, and I don't know why he said don't get the early version of Flex, but why not? Why not try that? So this link is try Chrome OS Flex, or you can scroll down and get Cloud Ready for personal home use. And there's a button when you scroll down to install it now, and it takes you to links for just getting a blank USB stick, download it. It will make a bootable USB stick to literally put the Chrome OS on a computer. What a great way to play with and turn some old hardware. Maybe you give it to a parent or a younger child, or so, and you don't have to buy any hardware. You may have it laying around. I think I love turning old hardware and finding a use. Linux used to always be my go-to. Hey, put Untangle on it. Try playing with a firewall. To make your own Chromebook, I think this is great. So just get an 8 gig stick. They're saying here 20 minutes. Probably it is 40 minutes. So less than an hour, and you're deploying one of an old hardware. I think this is a great project. Anybody that hears it on, you heard it here and you started it, let me know your experience. Send me an email, record a voicemail, and send me the MP3, and I really appreciate it. So, next link is Windows PowerShell commands cheat sheet. So I am going to make this online here. So give me a second and I will, there we go. So I came across this on a PDF that you have to sign up to get the PDF, but PowerShell is the key to automating installs, checking things out. I mean, especially where I always talk about Synchro, my RMM that I use for managing all the systems that we support. Scripting in PowerShell can really automate your life, and I am not a scripter, but I want to become one. So here are right on the website 25 basic PowerShell commands. You know, just trying some of these out. They have a quick cutout right here where I'm showing on the screen where you could just download and print this out. If you keep scrolling down, there's lots of things to try. First, running as an administrator and opening up PowerShell, but then getting different information, like get the location, set the location, move an item, copy an item, rename it. Try some of the basic commands to get familiar with PowerShell. Every system has it. And I just think, you can write your own first script, sort of like Hello World, your first basic program. So you want to go old school, learn some command line and some programming this is something that could really help you out. So something that I've been thinking of doing for a client who has an Oracle database, that every week I export the database from the production server and I import it. And there's a lot of commands that I have step by step. And I'm looking at that. I'm like, I can PowerShell this and try it out, So that's something I'm thinking of to help automate some things for some clients. And then I got to get my feet wet, in starting this. So anyway, I thought this was a cool link for everybody to try. Next, you know how I absolutely love websites, just like I love PDF.com. Well, here's another one for the original online free PDF editor and form filler. So you just click Right now, for the free online, you upload and you can edit a PDF or fill out forms. So like, okay, that's pretty cool. So that's called PDFescape. So we're hitting the ground running here. We're 10 minutes in, and I got 3, I think, really good sites that you should be checking out. And remember, all of these links are at MikeTechShow.com. That's where everything is. That's where all links begin, end, notes, audio, everything is right there. So you don't have to write these down as you're listening. You could just go to the website. So that's why you can listen in the car and you don't have to write. I need to now start some emails because the emails are going to lead to some really, really good stuff. So first is, let me take a look here. I'm pausing the audio portion right now. Oh, hold on. Hold on. I got to say I got them. Hold on. I got them. Okay. Someone sent me 2 things and they just wanted to make sure I got them. So let me, hold on. Question and a recommendation. Hold on. Why am I not? Here we go. Sorry. Okay. This email is from Denk. I don't know if the Z is silent. Denik from the Czech Republic. Hi, Mike. This tool will be able to help you with your problem you have mentioned in your last show. What was the problem? The problem was in Mail Manager having to need a mapped drive and having 2 different profiles depending whether the end user was coming in from the VPN or in the office. And the temporary answer was just leave him on the VPN even if he is in the office. Oh, wait until you hear this. It's free for non-commercial use. It's called NetSetMan. I remember this from a long time ago, but I don't know why I didn't think of it. It can auto-switch defined profiles and then map network drives or even modify host files, plus a whole bunch of other things. It is NetSetMan.com, and I'm putting the link into the chat. It's very inexpensive. Even if you wanted it for one user, they have a free version, but remember, you can't use it for companies. It looks great. It has all of the possible settings that you could ever want for defining the IP address, the work group, default printers you can even change, network drives, DNS suffix, route tables, SMTP server, host file entries. You can have multiple host file entries. That's what I was asking for. But I don't even need the host file entries because everything else, system settings, computer name, you can change the MAC address, NIC status, protocol bindings. Obviously, try the free version. The pro version, which I am clicking on right now, I think the pro version is $49 for a license. That's absolutely worth it. Let's download the PDF and take a look. You can solve many, many problems for connecting. I'm thinking of this. How many clients do you visit where you got to change your network settings in order to connect to their network. Maybe even get onto the domain, but you don't want to be on a domain somewhere else. Guess what? You could do it with this. That is pretty cool. Even customizing proxy settings for a browser. Domain, work groups, different map drives. I could have a profile for every client. Tell me that ain't worth $49 for a technician's workstation. I thank you so much. And it's why I love doing this show and having answers come in like that. That is just tremendous. I really, really, really appreciate that. And that is as Denik. I don't know if I pronounced your name right, but thank you so much. Let's take this from the top. This is from Hilton. I just listened to show 823 where you talked about not installing Windows 11 on production. Well, I'm not upgrading it yet. Here's what I did. He continues. All my personal computers already have Windows 11 Insider. I installed 11 on my 2 work computers and on my desktop. I just enabled Hyper-V and installed a Windows 10 virtual machine for cases where I need to look at or test Windows 10. That's actually the reverse of what I was saying. Hey, run Windows 11 in a virtual machine, but I like that. That's a great idea. Also, another option for migrating data is to use the Microsoft products. I saved a copy of Windows Easy Transfer from a Windows 7 box. I use it to capture user profiles. If there aren't any issues with the profile, I'll show hidden items and copy app data as well. Sometimes I'll also copy the C users folder manually if I have time to waste. Then I use the Windows Printer Migration tool to copy and automatically install printers. You know, now you're talking an awful lot about Fab's Auto Backup here. Anyway, you run it by running a command prompt or PowerShell as admin and entering the command print BRMUI and follow the wizard to back up and restore the printers to a file. You have to make sure to run it as an admin on both systems or it won't work. Anyway, hope that wasn't too long. It was not. Longtime listener, love the show. Hilton from Virginia. Hilton, great. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. This is from Bob, regular listener, longtime listener. I was wondering what you and your listening audience would say was the best secure and anonymous email was. Now, he mentions Proton Mail here, but that would have been my first suggestion. With all that Google does with tracking user information, I am looking for something that doesn't do this. I am kind of leaning towards Proton Mail because it is open source and messages are encrypted from end to end. Also, when you set up your Proton Mail account, which by the way, I did a show on that, you don't need to provide any personally identifiable information. So you can make a truly anonymous account. One of the drawbacks, however, is it is rather basic and it may take some getting used to before you feel comfortable with it. It lacks a lot of the bells and whistles of the other clients. So what we're looking for here, it seems, is what do we have for a secured, private, free email that we can recommend? Is there anything better than Proton Mail, he's asking. And he's open to suggestions. I think that's a great question because I would recommend Proton Mail. So as always, thanks for all you do for the tech community. Bob from New Hampshire, thank you for asking that. And I don't use it all the time, but for testing, I use Proton Mail. I know some listeners do because when I get an email, you can see that it's, from Proton Mail or not. I think I covered that also in de-Googling, just to kind of get away from Google and everything that they're tracking. That was like one of the top recommended ones. So let's see. All right. So this is interesting from Kate. And then she follows up when I reply. This was from show 826. Interesting story about your client moving to a new suite and keeping the same suite number. Just a thought from someone coming out of a telecom background. If anything you're doing has anything to do with the actual telephone company, which it does not, make sure in advance they aren't going to have a problem with that suite number thing. Or if your client has some contact with the telco, make sure to suggest they do that when the orders are placed. It's really not normal, and something in the telco system can jump up and bite you in the butt. Good luck. And she is correct, and I have been bitten in the butt like that with a client, and it was Verizon. And they went from one suite to another. Do you know, here it was even on a different floor, but they reported that it was going to be suite letter B as in boy. It was suite C as in Charlie. And two guys there on site had everything there. We can't do this. What do you mean you can't do it? We can't connect this up. I said, my client, we just moved. This was the move day. It's a Saturday. This was the move day. They got to go live. They got to have internet. Nope, can't do it. This order says for B. This is, come on. Okay, let's call. They said, boy, we'd really like to call, but the business office that would make that change does not have hours on the weekend. I said, you got to be kidding me. The owner of the company, I just let him. When he heard that, he went nuts. And there's nothing. Verizon literally left, had to reschedule. They didn't come out till Tuesday, which meant they had no internet for Monday. No phone. No, so they had to switch everything to the cell phones. We got creative, and we had people tethering to their phone who needed internet access. It wasn't pretty, but I made things work until Verizon got it all squared away. But all it was paper. And when Kate emailed me that, I was like, ooh, okay. Now this is a Comcast move, and they're going to be on site. So she puts, it sounds like you guys do a lot of de facto project management. Who is doing phones? Might just be another item on a checklist for a physical move. At minimum, somebody has to make sure there's some place to plug them in. Now, these are all Comcast, and since they're going to be on site and they're moving it, I'm assuming it's going to be fine, especially since the suite number is the same, even though it's not the physical office. It's just moving down the hall. But she makes a great point. I'm a list person, and I make lists. I used to have like a move. We're doing this on the fly and really shouldn't. This really needs, for the move, a project management, step by step, everything that has to be done, a checklist. I did the mental things for just having conversations with the owner. It's a small company. There's like 5 users, but they have a real physical server. As a matter of fact, they're moving on Tuesday. My son is going to be there on site all day, making sure everything gets moved and it's working. But Kate brings up a good point. You should have a checklist for something like this, especially a move. Do they have to update their business cards? Do they have to? There's so many other things. So, all right. Let's see. Here. This is from Jim. This is a big email, couple issues here, couple things that we're going to cover and kind of finish up here tonight. I have a question about cyber insurance. Do you or anyone you know have any experience, good or bad, with cyber insurance? I have experience in helping our clients answer questions for cyber insurance. So a lot of my companies, because of compliance, absolutely has to have it. If they fall under HIPAA or FINRA compliance, they have to have cyber insurance. Then depending on the industry, they really need cyber insurance. And that email I had to reply to, it was a new client asking me that I received the policy, and I had to stop the show and reply back, yes, I received it, because I have to do a analysis of and help them answer the questions. But he continues, one of my customers, a small business, 15 employees, is being told by their insurance company they need to add this to their policy. I don't have any personal experience with cyber insurance. I am hoping someone else might. Call wherever their insurance they have. Begin there and see if they have an add-on for cyber insurance. Anybody that has business insurance, whoever it's with, contact them about the cyber insurance. I could give you a list of companies, but depending on what state you're in, they may not write for that. So that's why I'm not recommending specific companies. Now, a great example, the company that I have my business insurance is only in Pennsylvania. So if I wanted to do something out of state for that, I'm not covered. So I have to have separate insurance, especially like down here. And I did a show for Florida. I have to have separate business insurance because it's a different state, or go more national and have somebody that can write for multiple states. So start with whoever their insurance company is with and begin there. Let me know if that helps. There are other things that I can recommend, and we can get a little deeper into this, but that's where I would start. And you're going to see varying prices. I've seen it's depending on the industry. Give you an example. My title insurance company that I have as a client is spending 5 times more annual for their cyber insurance than my financial advisor company. And it's all based on the risks. So that's, it's any actuarial table, whatever. So I'm not into that, but let me know if that helps. He continues. He's got a lot of things here. Mike, I purchased the Synology DS920 Plus. I added 4 6-terabyte drives for my home office. I know you have said it's easy to set up, but I must disagree with you. It's easier. He's probably right. It's not that difficult. Maybe it's not as easy as I said. So I like that. It is straightforward with no surprises so far. I am a skeptic when it comes to using a new product sometimes, but this is great. I like the apps. I am using Synology Active Backup for Business. I should have done this before now. Thanks for the recommendation. All right, you are welcome. This is something that some of your listeners might find useful, especially if they are just starting out with IT. I have been using an app that loads on a phone or tablet, Apple or Android, called Electrodoc Pro. I will have the link for the Android and the Apple version of this app in the show notes. He continues, I don't do cabling, but I do at times need to make my own patch cables or redo some ends or do a simple cable run. I try to carry patch cables. This helps when I run into something different. I have used it many times over the years. I mostly use the pinout guide for Ethernet cable, the EIA TIA 5568A and 568B, power over Ethernet, crossover cable pinouts, including 10 base T to gigabyte T568A and T568B, along with twisted pair standards. If anyone needs a guide to make a patch cable for RJ25 or RJ14, this is the guide for that, along with a guide for almost every PC connection, past and present. Plus, lots of other guides, battery calculators, power calculators, etc. There is a free version and a paid pro version you can get from the Google or Apple store. Hope this helps someone. Thanks for all the work on your show. Sincerely, Jim. Jim is from Texas. Jim, thank you. And get back to me on the cyber insurance if you have any questions. Just email me again, and I will personally respond. The Synology, I'm glad you love it. And thanks for the tips for the links for Electrodoc and Electrodoc Pro. That is it for tonight's show. Anybody who likes hanging around in the post show next week, my son Ryan will be the vinyl DJ in the post show of next Thursday night. So just throwing that out there. You might want to join. It'll be a lot of fun on Twitch. And anybody listening, I do this live on Twitch on Thursday nights, and that's just twitch.com/MikeTechShow. And if you participate in the chat, just sign up for a free account. And speaking of that, get a Discord free account. That's where the Mike Tech Show forums are. So you can be part of the discussions for the show, different hardware, software. It's a great place to hang out if you're a listener of the show. And there is a link that you can click in all the show notes of every show. I have a Discord link in there. You can click on that, join Discord, and it's free. And then go in and announce yourself. Say hello, because we don't know that you're human. We just want to make sure you're not a bot. And then we'll promote you so you can have access to all the forums. That's it. Everybody have a great week and stay safe, and see you back here. Same time, same channel. Bye-bye.